All right. So here's the thing, man. When you look at the Quran and the Bible side by side, it's almost like you're looking at two completely different approaches to what a holy book is supposed to be. The Quran is very structured, very clear, very direct. It's written like it feels like commands. It's God speaking to you. It's preserved in Arabic, word for word, letter for letter, memorized by millions of people across history. And it doesn't really give you wiggle room. It's saying, here's what you do, here's what you don't do, here's how you live, here's how you pray, here's how you treat people, here's how you organize society. It's not just a spiritual text, it's also law, discipline, and a framework for daily life. Now, the Bible is almost the opposite in style. It's this huge collection of books, writings from different authors, different times, different contexts. You've got stories, poetry, songs, parables, letters. It's layered. It's like a library more than a single book. And instead of telling you, do this, don't do that, in such a strict way, it often paints pictures. It tells stories of people's struggles, their relationship with God, their failures, their redemption, and then it's on you, the reader, to interpret what do these stories mean for your life? What lessons do you take away? That's why in Christianity there's such a strong emphasis on personal conscience, faith, forgiveness, love. It's less about follow this specific law and more about live in a way that aligns with the love of Christ. So the Quran is like order, discipline, community. It's about obedience and structure. You pray 5 times a day, you fast in Ramadan, you give charity, you live by a clear set of rules. It sets up this sense of unity. The whole community is moving in rhythm, almost like a drum beat of devotion that shapes every part of society. That's why in many Muslim cultures, religion and law are intertwined because the book itself isn't just spiritual advice, it's the Constitution. Meanwhile, the Bible, especially in the New Testament, it's about vision. It's about this idea of transformation through love and forgiveness. Jesus tells stories that make you think, like the parable of the prodigal son isn't a law, it's a metaphor about forgiveness. The Good Samaritan isn't a regulation, it's a story that teaches compassion. So what happens in Christian majority societies is that you see this long tradition of wrestling with interpretation, philosophy, debate. What does this mean for me, for us, for the world? That's why you've got thousands of denominations all reading the same book but coming to different conclusions. It's fascinating because you can see how each book shaped entire civilizations. The Quran gave rise to societies that were very ordered, structured around religious law. Sharia governs everything from business contracts to marriage to what you eat. It's comprehensive. You don't just read it, you live it in very specific ways. And for a lot of people, that gives life clarity. There's comfort in having that kind of discipline. Like, I know exactly how to live right. The Bible's influence shapes societies more around philosophy, moral exploration, even art and storytelling. Think about how much of Western literature, music, painting, and law grew out of biblical themes, but not as direct commands, more as interpretations of love, sacrifice, freedom, redemption. It's why you have things like separation of church and state in some Christian societies. It's almost like the text itself encourages individual wrestling with faith rather than embedding one rigid legal system. So if you zoom out, The Quran is about structure and submission to divine order, while the Bible is about vision and the inner transformation of the heart. One is command, the other is story. One builds civilizations around law and community discipline. The other inspires cultures of reflection, conscience, and forgiveness. And both of them, whether you're a believer or not, have left massive fingerprints on how billions of people live their daily lives. Like a Muslim wakes up, prays at exact times, eats a certain way, follows a clear legal code. A Christian might wake up, read a verse, reflect on it, and try to live with more compassion in their daily interactions. Both approaches create a rhythm, but they feel very different in the way they shape the mindset. One is, here are the steps, follow them. The other is, here's the story, find yourself in it. And that's wild, man. Because when you think about it, it's two completely different philosophies of how humans should be guided: discipline versus interpretation, order versus conscience, law versus love. And yet both are trying to answer the same fundamental question: how should we live?